Hello student, today I am going to discuss you about the spatial data mining. Spatial data mining is a special technique that spatial data mining is the process. It is a process of discovering the interesting, useful and non-trivial pattern from the large spatial Ba- data sets. In the spatial data mining, the objects are represented in three ways via points, lines or polygons. Here, the data objects can be either point, lines, and polygon also. The spatial mining is used basically in the GPS, the Global Positioning System, GIS, the Geographical Information System, and for environmental studies. In spatial mining, there are 6 methods by using which we can perform spatial mining. These are the characteristic rule, discrimination rule, association rule, clustering rules, classification rule, and trend analysis. In characteristic rule, we particularly identify the characteristics on basis of which a certain spatial data are 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 identified and used to form the clusters. And on the same on the basis of these characteristic rules, the spatial cluster is formed. Suppose we want to find out the tiger density in certain regions, then we define that we are interested actually in in a animal species, that is lion or tiger, and then we shall find out up in a certain geographical region the the spatial distribution of the lions. Second one, the discrimination rule. This discrimination is used to compare the comparison of price range of different geographical areas. Suppose in a cities, the house rents may vary from area to area. In this way, different areas may be discriminated from each other on basis of house rent. And here we are dividing our spatial regions into different regions on basis of their rents charges. Third one is the association rule. In association rule, we can relate a spatial attribute to a non-spatial attribute and spatial attribute to spatial attribute also. So in association rule, we find out how frequently in a certain region a certain thing occur with those peoples. For example, in region, in particular Gorakhpur region, how many peoples actually uh, are actually visiting the Gorakhnath temple. For example, in location here, two spatial attributes, the particular citizens of the Gorakhpur cities are related to the spatial region Gorakhnath temple, and like this we can also relate non-spatial attribute also. The second one is clustering rules. The similar like of similar as we do clustering, another technique here we can perform the clustering over a special region, like the particular crime group crime locations, and we find out the crime rate in certain region, and on basis of which we can particularly find out the hotspot of the crime area. And this can be also done for the classification also, where whether a spatial entity belonging to a particular class or how many classes are identified. Here, different categories of, suppose for the same crime classification, we distinctly define the types of crime and on the number of incidents that took place in that particular region would be classified as different types of categories of crimes that occurred in that region. The trend detection. A trend is a temporal pattern in some time series data. Spatial trend is defined as consider a non-spatial attribute which is a neighbor of a spatial data object. In spatial, suppose as in our city Gorakhpur, we are particularly checking out the uh, traffic inflow during the time of the Sankranti festivals. During that time, the traffic inflow in the cities becomes very high as lakhs of people visits Gorakhnath temple, and for that they come to Gorakhpur city. And now, as nowadays, in period of corona's pandemic, the situation is quite different, and the traffic inflow is the least. And so this is kind of the time-based trend and detection of the neighboring region, that how what are the trends, different type of trends related with that spatial locality. After this, there are certain, shall define the properties of spatial data. The properties of the spatial data can be categorized in, there are basically three properties. The first one, the spatial autocorrelation, correlation, spatial heterogeneity, and implicit spatial relation. The first one, spatial autocorrelation. Actually, suppose in our city there are different kinds of people, millions of people resides here, and they are quite different from each other, but they are autocorrelated via their longitude, latitude, position. So they are related to each other via their geographical location. This kinds of relation is called autocorrelation. And here, we different people living in these cities are autocorrelated to each other. The same thing has been said by the first law of geography, which says that everything is related to everything, but nearby things are more related than the distant thing. Here, we all know that everything is related to each other, but the things that are close to each other by close to each other are much more related to each other in a spatial domain. So in a spatial mining, the data located at the same spatial region are autocorrelated. This is the first property of the spatial mining. And the second one is the heterogeneity of spatial data. In this, actually, different type of data. Heterogeneous means the distinct type of things which are related to each other. As for example, longitude and latitude are the glue that link different data collection together. Here, different kinds of things which lies at the particular longitude could be correlated. So this autocorrelation can also be used to relate distinct thing which resides at the same location. So heterogeneity of the spatial data is another property which is also second property. The next third one is the spatial relation. In spatial mining, the things can be related via spatial relation. The spatial relation, what are the spatial relation? The spatial relation can be of three types. The first one, the distance relation, directional relation, and topological relation. Distance relations are very simple to explain, and they are the Euclidean distance between the two spatial features, how far they are with each other and how close they are to each other. So simply it means we define the distance between them, or the range in it may also be defined by defining their range also. Like in the example, this distance between AB is greater than C, or distance between AB is less than C, or distance between AB is equals to C. So either of the three can be used for relating two objects A and B. These kinds of relation are called the distance relation. The directional relation, it's again the very simple things that we use in our day-to-day life. We locate certain things by direction, the east, west, north, south. Like in the slide, here is C is in north direction to the A, and B is in northeast direction to the A. So by defining the direction, relative direction, we can relate two distinct objects to each other. So this all about the direction relation. And next one is the topological relation. This is the new thing that I am going to define you. The topological relation. In topological relations, the relations describe how geometries intersect spatially. Topological relations describe how geometric C's intersect spatially. For example, point is as defined as 0 dimension, line is with 1 dimension, and polygon is categorized in 2 dimension. Because point has no length, breadth, or height, so it's of 0 dimension. line is only having the length, so it's one dimensional. Polygon can be represented only in two dimensional space, so it's two dimensional. These are the geometry type that are used in topological relation, and each of these geometries have three associated properties: the boundary, interior, and exterior. So boundary is something which discriminate interior with the exterior, and interior is the point which lies inside the boundary, and exterior is the thing which lies outside the boundary. For this can be explained that here in the diagram we have the polygon A and polygon B, which we could say that as a square. Here A is the polygon with 6 side edges and the polygon B with 4 edges. So here in the next diagram, on the column side, row side, we have defined IA, BA, and EA. That stand for IA means interior of A, BA means boundary of A, and EA means exterior of A. And on the column side, IB, BB, and EB. IB means interior of B, B boundary of B, and E means exterior of B. Here we can find in the very first locations the overlapping region of interior of A and interior of B. The overlapped region is colored in black, in black color, and easily we can find out this. The black region represents the interior of A and interior of B. Similarly, in the next one, the interior of A and boundary of B. So it represents the boundary of B, which is a line. And next one, moving to the right side, interior of A and exterior of B. The part that is interior of A but exterior of B is also colored in black. So this is the diagrammatical. Here the sets, the overlapped region is colored in black, and we find out in the middle position that boundary of A and boundary of B, overlapped region, is just two crossing points, and they are pointed by the black points. And as we all know that polygon can be represented, polygon is a two-dimensional, line is a one-dimensional, and points are zero-dimensional. So corresponding dimensional matrix for this is that for the geometries would be like this: 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, and 2, 1, 1. This is the dimensional intersection matrix of these. So these are the dimensions that are used for defining the space. So that's in this way I summarize you that the spatial mining is the process is used in the GPS system, GIS system, and environment system to particularly perform data mining using spatial coordinates. And that's all about you. Thanks for joining, and thanks for joining.